You see someone you like, and suddenly your brain becomes a committee. One part says, "Go over, just say something." Another part says, "Absolutely not. Let's preserve dignity." And a third part is already producing a documentary about how embarrassing this could become. So you wait. You check your phone. You pretend to look busy. You tell yourself you need the right moment. Then the moment passes. And later, your brain does something very generous. It replays the whole thing for 3 days. Not because the conversation went badly, because the conversation never happened. We are, apparently, the only species capable of feeling embarrassed about something that never happened. The brain does not need proof. It will write the whole story anyway. Here is the strange part. You are probably not afraid of talking. You talk all the time. To cashiers, coworkers, friends, people who ask where the bathroom is. The problem starts when you like the person. Because suddenly one sentence does not feel like one sentence. It feels like evidence. Evidence that you are attractive, or awkward, or interesting, or not enough. That is why you freeze. Not because you have nothing to say. You freeze because your brain turns one sentence into a social trial. Very efficient, very dramatic, and completely exhausting. So here is the reframe. You are not afraid of the conversation. You are afraid of what you think the conversation will prove about you. That is why just be confident is such useless advice. Wonderful, very helpful. Like telling someone drowning to just be more aquatic. You do not need to become a different person. You need to make the moment smaller. Because approaching someone you like is not a performance. It is not a test. It is not a sales pitch. It is a doorway. And your job is not to kick the door open. Your job is to create a moment someone can comfortably step into. That is the whole idea. Make the moment feel like a doorway, not a test. The real enemy is not shyness. Shyness gets blamed for everything. Poor shyness, out here taking responsibility for an entire committee of social fears. The real enemy is the performance frame. That moment where your brain turns a small human interaction into a stage. Now you are not just saying hello, you are trying to be cool, relaxed, funny, attractive, not too much, not too little. Good luck. Somehow, hello has become a full casting process. The performance frame makes you monitor yourself from the outside. How do I look? How did that sound? Was that weird? Are they judging me? And the moment you become busy watching yourself, you stop seeing the person in front of you. That is the trap. The performance frame turns a person into a mirror. You stop meeting them and start checking yourself. That is why trying to impress someone often creates pressure. You are not evil. You are just heavy, like you walked over carrying a small emotional suitcase and quietly handed it to them. Hi, please validate my entire self-concept. Not ideal. The shift is simple. Do not approach to prove yourself. Approach to open a small, low-pressure moment. You are not there to win a person. You are there to make contact possible. Before you approach someone, read the room. Many people confuse courage with ignoring signals. But confidence is not ignoring signals. Confidence is reading them calmly. A good approach starts with perception, not courage. If their body is already saying, "Not now," believe it. Headphones, fast walking, closed posture, no eye contact, clear stress. That may not be the moment, and that is fine. Not every moment is yours to enter. That is not rejection. That is information. A good approach should feel respectful before it feels bold. You are not entitled to someone's attention, but you are allowed to offer a small, respectful moment. There is a difference. So ask, is this person socially available? Not romantically available. Socially available. Are they relaxed, lingering, looking around? Did they make eye contact? Did they smile back? Does the setting make conversation normal? a cafe line, a bookstore, a party, a shared event. You do not need a perfect sign. There is no glowing arrow that says, "Proceed, emotionally stable stranger." But you can notice whether the moment is slightly open. And if it is closed, respect it. That alone makes you less awkward than half the internet. Cold approaches often feel awkward because they go from zero to conversation too fast. The other person's brain is peacefully existing. Then suddenly, you appear with words. That can feel like a pop-up ad with legs. So warm the moment first. Brief eye contact, a slight smile, a tiny acknowledgement, not staring. Staring is not confidence. Staring is how villains are introduced in low-budget thrillers. Just a small signal. I see you. I am not a threat. I am also not about to perform a magic trick. This changes the emotional climate, because when you speak after a small shared moment, the approach feels less like an interruption. It feels more like a continuation. A warm approach feels like a continuation. A cold approach feels like a surprise meeting your nervous system did not approve. Then start small. Most people freeze because they think the first sentence has to be special. It does not. The first sentence is not a wedding vow. It is a door handle. A good opener does not prove you are interesting. It gives the other person something easy to answer. Say something the room already gave you. The line, the book, the dog, the event, the strange menu, the music that is definitely too loud for a place selling tea. For example, have you tried this place before, or are we both guessing? Or, I noticed you were reading that. Worth it? That is enough. These are not magic lines. Please do not tattoo them on your personality. The principle is what matters. The best opener is not clever. It is available. It comes from the room. It asks for a tiny response. And then you watch what happens. They may laugh, answer, add something, or give very little back. All of that is information. You do not need to push. You are not trying to trap someone in a conversation. You are seeing whether a conversation is there. That distinction makes you lighter, less needy, more present. You are not trying to be unforgettable. You are trying to be easy to answer. That is enough for the first moment. Once the conversation starts, your brain may try to switch back into performance. It will whisper, "Now say something clever." Very cute. Unhelpful. Because the moment you start performing, you stop listening. And listening is where the real conversation begins. This is also where people misunderstand confidence. They think confidence means hiding every sign of nervousness. So they walk over trying to look completely unbothered. Meanwhile, inside, their nervous system has called an emergency committee meeting. The result is often worse, because hiding nervousness takes energy, and that energy is no longer available for listening. Sometimes the most confident thing you can do is admit the human part lightly, not dramatically, not with a full emotional weather report, just lightly. For example, I wanted to say hi before I overthought it. That is simple, human, and surprisingly effective. The point is not to make your nervousness the topic. The point is to remove the tension of pretending it is not there. Honesty lowers pressure. Neediness raises it. So do not hand them your anxiety like a responsibility. Do not say, "I'm so nervous, please don't think I'm weird." That makes them manage you. Instead, name the moment with warmth, a little humor, a little truth. Then move on. And once that tension is out of the room, something better can happen. You can actually notice them. So be interested, not impressive. Ask one real question connected to the moment. What made you pick that book? Have you been here before? What did you think of the event? Nothing heavy. No emotional job interview. No. So what are your 5-year intimacy goals? Please, no. Curiosity works because it takes pressure off both people. You are no longer performing. You are exploring. And exploration has room. Performance has no room. In performance, every pause feels dangerous. In curiosity, a pause is just a place where something real might show up. An impressive person makes you watch them. An interested person makes you feel yourself relax. People do not fall for impressive. They relax around interested. And relaxed is where attraction has a chance to exist. But none of this feels safe if you think you might get trapped in the awkward part. So let's fix the exit before it ever becomes a problem. A good approach needs a good exit. Because part of the fear is not starting. It is getting trapped in awkwardness. So give yourself permission to leave cleanly. If they are short with you, distracted, closed off, or clearly not interested, do not try to rescue the moment. Do not ask 5 more questions. Do not audition for your own approval. Just smile and say, "No worries, have a good one." That is it. No resentment, no visible collapse, no dramatic internal court case. A clean exit is not the end of the approach. It is what makes the beginning feel safe. Because now your brain knows, if this does not go anywhere, I can leave with dignity. That changes everything. You are no longer approaching like your entire worth is on the table. You are simply opening a moment. If it opens back, good. If it does not, also good. You stayed respectful. You stayed grounded. You survived a 30-second social event. Historic achievement. Someone alert the committee. And ironically, this makes you more confident. Because confidence is not knowing they will like you. Confidence is knowing you will not abandon yourself if they do not. That is freedom. Here is the freeing part. You do not need to win the moment. You only need to open it. One warm signal. One small sentence. One honest human moment. One clean exit if the moment does not open back. That is enough. This week, do not approach someone to impress them. Approach once to make a moment human. No performance, no script, no scoreboard, just a small opening. Drop a comment. What is the moment where you usually talk yourself out of it? Name that moment. Because once you can name it, you can make it smaller. And once it becomes smaller, you can walk through it. Say the first sentence. Let the moment breathe.